Hello everyone, I am Julian Morris with the Channel 5 News. In the headlines, Dominica ANC Port Authority claims that thousands of overseas voters participated in the December 6 election is fake news. Prime Minister Skerrit says UWP advisors partly to blame for the party's demise at the December 6 election. And the Nature Island observes International Mountains Day. The details of the news coming up.
Flow helps you stay connected to what matters. Simple plans and a better network mean that you can enjoy 7 days of unlimited social messaging, 3 gigabytes of reliable data to use as you like, 700 local anywhere calls and texts with the always-on prepaid plan, all for $29. Keep your number when you switch to Dominica's most reliable LTE network. Buy wherever you top up. Switch to Flow. It only gets better.
Here are some tips to reduce mosquito presence in and around your home. Keep water storage containers properly covered. Remove containers that can collect water from your surroundings. Keep garbage bins tightly covered. Pick up your litter and remove all tires from your yard. Keep gutters free of leaves and twigs to prevent stagnant water. Prevent Zika, dengue, and chikungunya. Fight the bite. This is a public service announcement from the Dominica Red Cross.
This message is supported by Flow.
There's a reason you get up on a morning. A reason you pick yourself up, start the day. Maybe it's sheer grit. Maybe it's your ethics. Maybe it's because you know people like you are waiting for people just like you. We all have our reasons, and for Republic Bank, that reason is you. Every little thing, every big thing, it's all about making a difference in your life. Because after 182 years, if it's one thing we're sure about, is that the difference is you. We're here to help.
Republic Bank, we're the one for you.
A new in-home experience is here. All your services bundled into one simple plan. Faster, more reliable Wi-Fi so that you can binge, play, and stream uninterrupted. Unlimited Flow local landline minutes mean you can talk and talk and talk. Plus the best in TV entertainment with over 120 channels and 29 in HD. All for $160 a month with the new all-in bundle. With Flow, it only gets better.
The Dominica ANC Port Authority DASPA is refuting claims that thousands of Dominicans entered the country to vote in the December 6 general election. Andrea Louis reports.
During his address to the nation on Saturday, 7th December, leader of the United Workers' Party, Lennox Linton, alleged that 8,000 people were brought in to vote via chartered flights and ferry. However, in a recently issued press release from DASPA, it was stated that this information being circulated is incorrect and a part of a fake news establishment being channeled through social media and other news media. The press release went on to give total figures of visitor arrivals via plane and ferry for the period 1st to 6th December 2019 and 2018. According to information from DASPA, a total of 89 flights entered the country with 1,545 passengers from 1st to 6th December 2019, compared to 72 flights and 1,152 passengers in 2018. As regards activity at the ferry terminals, 15 calls were made to the island from 1st to 6th December 2019 with a total of 1,172 passengers, whereas in 2018, 11 calls were made to the country with 417 passengers recorded. Based on the information provided, the total number of passengers arriving in Dominica from 1st to 6th December 2019 via air and sea is 2,717, contrasted against 1,589 individuals for that same period in 2018. The release went on to say the management of DASPA expects an increase in the passenger arrivals in the coming months as more of the hotel plants on the island continue to open their doors to the island's visitors. Andrea Louis, Channel 5 News.
Reclassification remains the preferred route to addressing public officers' grievances over salary increases. That's according to Prime Minister Skerrit, who believes reclassification can resolve a number of the issues of concern to public officers, including non-salary matters.
In respect to salary and terminal conditions, I sincerely believe that the best route to go to addressing this systematically is the reclassification exercise. Because a 2%, a 5%, or even a 10% increase in anybody's salary at this stage is not going to address the problem. It might be an emotional thing, but in terms of addressing your core issue, it's not going to work. And I think that if we go for the route of reclassification, and our focus has to be urgently on police, nurses, and the teachers. These three groups, they provide a different service from the rest of the public service. And I think this society has to appreciate that. But I don't think I can continue taking the blame for things that I have no part to play in. But I think that I have a responsibility as Prime Minister for everybody, and I intend to pay attention to this. So even in the formulation of the cabinet, that is going to be looked at very seriously, and to put a mechanism towards addressing this. So I think reclassification is the best way to go. We can achieve a number of things. One, we can deal with the issue of salary increases through the reclassification exercise. And two, you will find that people will move from one tier to the other, upward. And of course the new plans we have for, the new structure we have for nursing and for teaching will address a number of issues there. So I'm hoping that soon after the cabinet is sworn in, we can start the process of engaging the public servants with the view for us to arriving at some kind of understanding that let's do reclassification exercise. Let us put a timeline to this so that people know that this is how we're going to approach it.
He believes reclassification would be the more structured and organized way to address public officers' concerns.
Finally, too, I think that we have to be careful that we don't allow political partisanship to overcome the responsibilities of unions. I find it totally unacceptable that a union in an election campaign, while the salary negotiation is going on, to be meeting with a political party. This is bad. It is wrong. It sets a dangerous precedent, and it questions about your own seriousness about what you intend to do, and your own trust level. So people have to examine themselves and by their actions and find themselves: Am I where I am because of my actions, my behavior? And that's why each of us must come with clean hands when we come into the table to discuss. And so we all have to examine actions and so forth to look at this thing, and let us treat each other respectfully. Let us carry out our functions. If you're a Police Welfare Association, your mandate is about police welfare. You can vote for who you want, but that should not cloud how you go about carrying your functions. You're a police officer, your responsibility is to protect the citizens. You cannot not want to protect the citizens because the people who are demonstrating, you like them. And as we saw, people throwing stones, you don't know who will get hit by your stones. And if you're a nurse, you cannot not want to treat someone because the person come with a Labour Katwawe shirt.
The new Labour government is expected to make some significant changes in terms of how it meets the needs of its constituents. The Prime Minister has made reference to the new concept, saying introspection will be required in order to better plan for the future.
We have to empower parliamentarians more if we expect to have the kind of demands which you want to place on them. Because if you come to a member of parliament and you ask him for a house, he really doesn't have the resources to give you a house. He has to go to the executive to give you a house. If you want a pair of spectacles, he has to go to the government to get a pair of spectacles. So we have to look at how the government services are delivered at community level and where changes have to be made. They have to be made. We may very well find where we divert those resources to the legislature and let them have the staff, let them have the resources to treat with the constituents.
The Prime Minister says currently government services are not reaching the people in the manner in which it should. He says there will also be changes in terms of how parliamentarians relate to the people they represent.
We have to have more consultation with people. People cannot elect us and spend so many days and nights in the rain and the sun, having left their jobs and other things, and then we forget them. And then we come knocking at the doors next 5 years later and say, my brother, boy, I haven't seen you a long time, can you vote for me, and so on. And you may not even know that the person's mother died during that 5 years. So we have to find mechanisms, and of course I will share those mechanisms at some other point, for us to stay closer to the people. Human beings, generally speaking, are not unreasonable.
The Prime Minister believes the Dominicans should now consider how they can use their talents to help build the country.
All of the students that we have sent to university, the young people rather, that we have sent to university, thousands in the last 20 years, your knowledge must not be used to be armchair critics. If God gives you the gift of going to a university, it's to acquire knowledge. And when you acquire knowledge, it is to share with your brothers and sisters. It is to be utilized at the service of your country. It is not to boast. It is not to say how great you are or how smart you are. It is about using that knowledge in the profoundness of humility and making a contribution, wherever your station in life is.
And no injury, death or damage to property from the two most recent earthquakes to affect the country. This according to National Disaster Coordinator at the Office of Disaster Management, Fitzroy Pascal.
The Office of Disaster Management can confirm the occurrence of two earthquakes at approximately 11:03 p.m. Sunday night and 1:56 a.m. Monday morning that were reportedly felt by some members of the public. Information provided by the Seismic Research Center, which is responsible for earthquake monitoring throughout the Eastern Caribbean, indicated that the first earthquake was of magnitude 4.3, approximately 120 kilometers east-southeast of Roseau, Dominica, and 10 kilometers depth. The second earthquake occurred in the south of Dominica, of magnitude 3.8 and 17 kilometers deep, and is part of an ongoing series of earthquakes in that area, which may be described as volcanic unrest.
Mr. Pascal is cautioning the public that there is no immediate threat of a volcanic eruption due to this volcanic unrest.
The unrest does not necessarily mean that an eruption will occur. Note that this month, December, marks 1 year since this unrest episode began, and today's event is very close in magnitude to the largest in the unrest episode so far. As seen in 1998, large magnitude earthquakes can occur, and so the public should remain vigilant. There were no reports of local impact to persons or property by these earthquakes. The Office of Disaster Management continues to work closely with the Seismic Research Center in Trinidad to keep you informed.
You are watching Channel 5 News. We'll have more after this.
A new in-home experience is here. All your services bundled into one simple plan. Faster, more reliable Wi-Fi so that you can binge, play, and stream uninterrupted. Unlimited flow local landline minutes mean you can talk and talk and talk. plus the best in TV entertainment with over 120 channels and 29 in HD, all for $160 a month with the new all-in bundle. With Flow, it only gets better.
Les moun qui ni TB estene et ben toussé, moun qui en bonne santé oli ouin ka respirer c'est vermine là. Moun qui pa ni bon tempérament, kon sa ki ni maladie HIV, alcool, ka fumé, ti mamay et grand moun bien sensible pour ces maladies ça là. Moun qui ka toussé ni pour prendre précaution les yo en parmi moun en place publique, couvert bouche ou le ka estene et toussé. Visitez docteur et ben place santé. Fini tout traitement yo ba ou sa joine guérison et puis maladie TB. En responsabilité ou aider du bout si men maladie TB et HIV, protéger corps et les autres.
There's a reason you get up on a morning. A reason you pick yourself up. Start the day. Maybe it's because you know people like you are waiting for people just like you. For Republic Bank, that reason is you. It's all about making a difference in your life. Because after 182 years, if it's one thing we're sure about, is that the difference is you.
Republic Bank, we're the one for you.
Flow helps you stay connected to what matters. Simple plans and a better network mean that you can enjoy 7 days of unlimited social messaging, 3 gigabytes of reliable data to use as you like, 700 local anywhere calls and texts, with the always-on prepaid plan, all for $29. Keep your number when you switch to Dominica's most reliable LTE network. Buy wherever you top up. Switch to Flow. It only gets better.
Thank you for staying with us. Prime Minister Skerrit has continued to express delight at his party's overwhelming victory at the December 6 general election. The Dominica Labour Party won 18 seats to the UWP's 3.
You cannot get a bigger victory than this anywhere else, you know, and there are presidents and prime ministers who've been elected not having the popular vote. So we not only get the most seats in Parliament, but we also have the popular vote.
Mr. Skerrit says the opposition leader's advisors may have led to his party's undoing at the elections.
I think the external people did not treat Mr. Linton right. I think they used him to a great extent to carry out their mandate, and he did not pay attention on campaigning and getting his voters out. And that's why you have to be wise when you are a leader of any institution, any organization, that there will be also voices whispering in your ears, but you have to be focused on your mandate, on your task. And so they use them to carry out their interests and their plan, and he got excited by this because these people were all over him and he felt important, but failed to understand that he needed to win an election. And it's unfortunate that he did not, he was not properly advised by his strategists that, look, you can only win an election by people voting. And the more votes you get next to the saw, then better for you. You know, having all sorts of stuff on social media. You know, if Facebook users could vote, I mean, we'd have a problem with voting. And Twitter and all sorts of Instagram and MySpace and WhatsApp messages and so on. You know, but you can only win an election in a democratic country when people go into the polling station, they get a ballot, and they put an X next to your symbol. And so they did not pay enough attention to bring their people out. But they were more pushing this stuff. And see what you have, you know. I don't envy him. I have never had the privilege of being in opposition. People have told me that it is not a very nice place to be. Austria has shared with me some of his experiences. But as I understand it, one day in opposition is a very difficult day. 25 years is a generation. It's a generation. But we have to reach out. We have to reach out to each other and to seek to unite this country. And let us get to a point where we can, as political institutions, debate ideas, debate policies, debate programs, debate vision, and not to be engaging in character assassination or misinformation or rioting or destruction or destroying. Let's come present your plans and let's put it to the people and let the people examine them. People are bright people.
And Dominica joins the rest of the world in recognizing the importance of mountains to our country's livelihoods. Here again is Andrea Louis with more.
11th December is recognized by the global community as International Mountain Day, a day set aside to highlight the value of mountains to the global environment. Assistant Forest Officer in the Education Unit of the Forestry, Wildlife and Parks Division says this year's theme focuses on the importance of mountains for future generations.
Due to climate change, over-exploitation, mountains are under threat. To raise awareness about this, every year, International Mountain Day is celebrated on the 11th of December. The theme of International Mountain Day 2019 is Mountains Matter for the Youth. It is necessary to educate children and people that mountains provide fresh water, clean energy, food, and recreation. Also, mountains offer 60 to 80% of the world's fresh water. Water from mountains is used for generation of hydroelectricity. Mountains play a significant role in providing water and food supplies to millions of people all over the world. Mountains have a rich variety of flora and fauna. Mountains provide idyllic sites for tourists.
Due to inclement weather on 11th December, the activity to mark International Mountain Day was postponed to later this month.
This year, in order to celebrate World Mountain Day, the Forestry Division has organized a hike to the Boydin Lake. The groups that will be accompanying us on the hike are hiking groups all over Dominica, people from the general public, and also students from the Dominica State College. The day is to educate people in understanding the role of mountains in the environment and its impact on life.
Flow helps you stay connected to what matters. Simple plans and a better network mean that you can enjoy 7 days of unlimited social messaging, 3 gigabytes of reliable data to use as you like, 700 local anywhere calls and texts with the always-on prepaid plan, all for $29. Keep your number when you switch to Dominica's most reliable LTE network. Buy wherever you top up. Switch to Flow. It only gets better.
Here are some tips to reduce mosquito presence in and around your home. Keep water storage containers properly covered. Remove containers that can collect water from your surroundings. Keep garbage bins tightly covered. Pick up your litter and remove all tires from your yard. Keep gutters free of leaves and twigs to prevent stagnant water. Prevent Zika, dengue, and chikungunya. Fight the bite. This is a public service announcement from the Dominica Red Cross.
This message is supported by Flow.
A new in-home experience is here. All your services bundled into one simple plan. Faster, more reliable Wi-Fi so that you can binge, play, and stream uninterrupted. Unlimited flow local landline minutes mean you can talk and talk and talk. Plus the best in TV entertainment with over 120 channels and 29 in HD. All for $160 a month with the new all-in bundle. With Flow, it only gets better.
To end the news, a look again at the headlines. Dominica Air and Seaport Authority says claims that thousands of Dominicans or overseas voters participated in the December 6 election is fake news. Prime Minister Skerrit says UWP advisors partly to blame for the party's demise in the December 6 election. And the Nature Island observes International Mountains Day. Feel free to contact us at news@mapping2k4.com. You may access our past newscasts on our YouTube channel. On behalf of the production team, I am Julian Morris. Thank you for watching. Join us tomorrow.